Yo, the world sucks. Just letting you know. You gotta be better, world. We get all the bad shit out there. Just say a bunch of stupid shit. Fuck everybody and their uncles. Remember, I didn't say moms, so I said uncles. Nobody care about their uncles, bro. I love my uncle, though. My uncle fire, bro. You would love my uncle. That's it.
It's recorded? This is
And then, yeah.
This is the first of hopefully many, but welcome to a new series that we're starting with in partnership with Ideal Glass Studios. My name is Starnillis Oji, also known as the Skoje in fashion, and this is the Fusion Talks or Fusion. I don't know what to call it yet, but we're gonna figure that out. But essentially, what we want to try to do is create. I hate when people say create space.
I know, right? I mean, well, we're creating, I would say more like a viral, like sensory, like kind of, movement. I mean, at the end of the day, right? It's like, So at the end of the day, it's like, nah, we're not, creating a space. We're creating a movement. Let's just say that.
Right. Movements.
Yeah.
And sometimes things are undefined as well.
Right.
So like, it might not do justice to define it right now, but the goal is to have, bring artists out and have these conversations. Hopefully we can extract some profound thoughts, because usually most of the profound thoughts that I hear are from artists who keep these thoughts to themselves. So you either out smoking and then it magically comes out, or like there's always like a barrier between like the most profound thoughts and translating it to camera or translating it for consumption. Right. So hopefully we can pull that out. Right. So Fusion is an international platform that takes place in Japan once a year, and it's been a blessing of a platform for us to allow multidisciplinary artists to come together and create and make workshops and like connect with the artisans in Japan. We've been doing it since 2017. And Ideal Glass Studios is also a vanguard when it comes to giving a lot of artists in New York opportunities to display, to create. So we found a lot of synergy there. There's a lot of hidden culture in this space that you don't see on camera, but the artists are very much around. So hopefully one of these days we'll get people who've been in this space that have experiences that they can share. But for now, we're just gonna riff. It's gonna be edited. It's not a live stream. It's gonna be edited, so you can say whatever. But introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Cavier Coleman. I'm a New York-based artist. I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and I moved to Atlanta, Georgia at 13, went to school in Georgia at 19, college ball, basketball, won a national championship, lost my scholarship. Then from there, I got scouted to model, and I moved to South Africa for 2 years, and that's when I had the epiphany to start doing art. And I was already doing photography at that time, and I seen everything come like into like my vision, like literally, I like seen it. And I was like, I'm gonna be a painter, I'm gonna be a musician, I'm gonna do photography, I'm gonna do it all. And everybody was like, especially at that time, that's 2011, and I made everything kind of come true, in a sense. So,
We're gonna be passing this back and forth a lot. I think the first thing that comes to mind off the bat is, so I'm a New York native, so I'm kind of like, I have blinders. I can't see what a lot of other people see in terms of traveling to a location and starting from scratch. For me, this is the basis. So the question is, or not even a question, just kind of like riffing and thinking about it. what made you choose to come to New York? And do you think it was a decision that was made because of the art, or was it like based off of finance or something like that?
Well, I would say honestly, I mean, not to be cliche, it was like, like you sitting there, you like, man, I got a dream, I have a goal, and it was like, I knew one thing, it wasn't happening in Atlanta, Georgia. I knew that, so I took the chance and sacrificed, at 20 years old. I'm like, dude, I lost my scholarship. I'm like, I'm not finna pay no,
How'd you lose your scholarship?
I mean, that's another story.
Hold on.
I mean, actually,
Were you making art?
No. I had a basketball scholarship, full-ride scholarship. Yeah, sports. And so, dude, like, you want to know that story?
I guess, yeah.
I mean, it's crazy as hell, actually. I don't even care because, one, they shouldn't even release me because of this. They did, bro. I had the highest scholarship, bro, as a freshman, right? Yeah. So I'm going to school. It's a private Christian school. So you're not allowed to party, smoke, drink. And then, one, we basketball players. And, I'm a city boy, dude. I'm from Detroit. Like, we do all of this. We already was doing this, when we was younger. So it was kind of like, don't try to rip, our identity from us. And it was like we was at church all the time. I'm not someone you can kind of manipulate away. So I was kind of like a knucklehead sometimes. So anyway, we went out this one night, and we went out with some of the girl member team, some of the girls on the team, and they wanted to turn up with us. So we went out, and there's one girl, she's, I ain't gonna say names, but she was, she was a stud. Like, she liked women. So, and I can't make this shit up, man. Like, it was this 6'10" Polish dude. I know him because my teammate was friends with him, so he was from Poland. So, whatever. So we back at his place, the 6'10" substitute teacher at UGA, right? Yeah. The girls are there, we there, and man, dude, the stud girl gets so drunk, right? She end up craving, sex from a guy, right? And so, dude, she like goes in the room with this guy. The girl is trying to get out. She's like screaming, like, I want, she wants, she just wanted it. You know what I'm saying? She like literally was trying to get. I like pushed her off me. I was like, ugh, like please get away. Yeah. So anyway, she has sex with the 6'10" Polish. This girl's like 5'3" to give you the description, right? Yeah. Shit is crazy. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's weird. But anyway, so they had sex and everyone was mad. They called girls from the school. The girls came and got this drunk girl. I had to put her in the car. Like, it was bad, bro. The girls got in a fight with the girls that was there. However, it hit the fan. Yeah. She called rape on the dude. Wow. And so anybody that was involved with that basically lost a scholarship or work study.
How were you involved in it?
Because I was there. You can't party, you can't drink, remember? Right. And it was so bad, it made the basketball, I was on the team, bro. Yeah. Me and Tommy. It wasn't just the Polish dude. Like, they didn't.
That's your origin story.
That's what it is. So that made me, like, so that next semester, I took it. I paid I paid out my own pocket and got a couple loans, and my shit was $25,000 per semester, bro. Like, semester. So $50,000 a year. I didn't have to pay that initially. The first year, this was my sophomore year when all this happened. So that second that year ended, dude, I hit it running. I got a one-way ticket. I left the girl I was dating. She had cheated on me anyway, so I was done with her. I got one-way train ticket to New York. Lived with my cousins with $2 in my pocket up to New York. Yeah. Slept on the floor for like 2 weeks. Got a job catering, and then from there, like 2 months, I met this dude named Michael McLeod, a great guy. And from there, he got me placed in South Africa, like less than 5 months.
No. I feel like you skipped over something.
What you mean?
Between living in like living on the floor or whatever, or sleeping on the floor, and him placing you.
I did catering.
Oh no, but what do you think? There was like a piece that you made, that there was something that happened there that made him discover you to place you.
Yeah, I mean, he liked what I was doing. I was doing a little photography. Yeah, I was doing a little photography at that time, but it wasn't. He was doing basically the same thing I was kind of doing. He was like modeling and doing photography, but he was doing it on a whole nother level. He was, traveling everywhere. South Africa, he already been there, but he knew all the bookers and the clients and stuff, and he was also modeling still. But he was like, dude, I want to help you, and I kind of was skeptical. I was like, dude, you can get me signed in South Africa. He was like, I was like, if you can. I mean, he took some digitals. Dude, I had like 10 offers. I went with whoever was going to advance me the most money because I ain't had no money. So I was like, I need a room, I need a board, and I need a stipend to eat. I got that with this agency, 1085. And 1085, if you don't know, is like the meters of one of the eighth wonders of the world, which is called Table Mountain in South Africa, which the agency literally overlooked. Like when I got there the first day, the first thing I did from the airport straight to the agency, I had 19 castings right away. I booked the job within that first day, and I already had damn near made the money back that they advanced me for the room and board. Yeah. So it was crazy. It was serendipitous, man.
I think what's standing out to me is that I think most artists have, well, not most, but I think some do have like several catalysts before the visual art element of it.
Right.
So I don't know if you mentioned it earlier, but like you modeling is like a catalyst. You playing ball is a catalyst. So like, take us through what happened. What's like that next chapter of South Africa and like what happened over there?
Man, when I went to South Africa, it was eye-opening. I remember the first thing that really kind of like woke me up was getting out the air, coming out the airport with my bags, and I just looked to my right and left, and it was, dark-skinned brother. He was like, "Welcome home, brother." And I never felt so like light in my feet. I felt like instantly I felt free. I felt like I wasn't contained or contaminated in a sense by the structure of our society, right? I feel like, I think when I went there, I had an eye-opening, like just a breakthrough, especially being from, Detroit, Michigan. I mean, Saginaw, Michigan to be exact. Yeah. And, being in a place that is so rural and I ain't gonna just call it what it is, ghetto shit. Yeah. And, not saying Africa ain't got its ghetto parts, but it's like, it was a sense of liberation, getting out of your fears and comfort. Shit, that's a 19-hour flight. Right. I did that twice, to live there twice, and 4 times back and forth. Yeah. So to me, I got over a lot of stigma and fear, and to go there, it was eye-opening just from a spiritual standpoint, and I had epiphanies to do everything that I'm doing now. So I said it was funny because everybody, like I said, everyone kind of thought I was crazy, and I still am, but I was saying I was gonna do music. I was saying I was gonna do photography. I was saying I was gonna be a painter. I wasn't doing none of this besides at the time only photography. I would get drunk and do literally ass drawings and terrible ass drawings on our diner table in South Africa. That's all. I had no access to paint. I never had no canvas. I think I got the second time I went there again, I ended up having a friend named Nagris, and she was a painter. So she ended up letting me paint on one piece of canvas, and we did like a collaboration piece. But that was when it kind of really like, I was like, oh shit, and it was oil paint. And I ain't even, it was just like, it was eye-opening. So then from there, I moved back to New York. This is like 2 years, so I moved back. I ended up moving to Harlem with this girl I was kind of dating. And like, she was so in love with me. But I was.
Pause. You about to go into a whole different story.
But you asked, because like South Africa got me back to New York.
We're going to get back to that. Because there's the thing that was, I'm like trying to do the hard job of actively listening, but while I'm listening, questions are popping up and everything.
Right.
But the main thing that struck out when you were talking about South Africa was, I guess it's like being in Detroit, Detroit, right?
Yeah.
Being in Detroit, but you didn't have those visions to paint and to create work.
Oh, no.
You were like playing, and then coming to New York, you still didn't have that. And then for some reason, you go to South Africa, and then that's when it kicks off. And but then it's like it's not even you get that and you want to stay in South Africa. It's like you get that from South Africa and you move again. So I feel like there's something. It reminds me of like when I went to an art school. I went to art and design in the city, and before I went to art school, I just knew that I liked art, but it was more of a forced thing. Like my, like when your parents see that you have a skill, they try to like, so it was forced thing. So even being in the art school, I don't think I did work that was, that people wanted me to do, but it wasn't kind of like me knowing that I needed to make a piece. It's not until after art school and going into different experiences or different environments, and in that environment created the desire to make a piece. So what you said about like the piece of South Africa or the piece of the space, I wonder if that was the catalyst, or if it was building up and then it needed that type of space. And that's kind of like the curiosity that I have right now is like, when you think about all the pieces that you make now, do they come to you in your studio, or do they come to you in other places?
It depends. Well, I mean, it could depends. It depends on time. How I'm feeling mentally, and I think, to kind of go back to the South Africa thing, it definitely was something that kind of, when I went there, like I said, I felt all of this connectivity, so I was able to think differently. I didn't feel crowded. Remember I said like the word contaminated. Like how I felt like society here kind of, it forced you to be one way. You gotta understand, I was 21, 22, like experiencing South Africa by myself, living in a mansion with other models and other peoples of different walks of life. Yeah. You don't get that in America, like that rich. Most people go to school and sit in the dorm and like go to frat parties. I was in a different type of college. I was in the life college. I was, I was in my real social studies. I was really, I was looking at the world as a geographic like standpoint for me. It was like, damn, I'm literally 9,000 miles across the world. My family think I'm homeless, bro. But they don't even know I'm going to great barbecues. I'm living in a mansion. I'm swimming. I got a pool in my yard. But people worry when they don't know what's the results of something. Yeah. I never had that. I never felt like I don't have worries. We all have worries, let's not be. But what I'm saying, like, I don't have preconceived worries of, like, if I'm going through something, I'm going head on first. Right. I'm not going to be like, what's on the other side of the door? I'm just going to open the fucking door. Right. Maybe it's a lion on the other side of it, but I'll deal with that later. Right. We're here with Ideal Studios. We are popping off and doing it right, y'all. Hope y'all having a great time, and we are living life. We're here with Skoje, and he's the host, temporary host, quote unquote, but I doubt it. But
probably, yeah, you're right. I like doing this. Usually I don't I'm behind the camera working and stuff, but if it feels good, it feels good. Right. All right, so we picking back up from the idea of muses and how they can be positive. They are positive, but the energy that comes from them can be positive or negative. Either way, it influences the work. So you come from you Detroit, New York, South Africa, back to New York. Now you're living with an ex, yeah. But it feels like this is where your art journey, the catalyst was in South Africa. Now you're in New York. What's going on?
Well, I mean, so it kind of happened we wasn't really official, quote unquote, but there was, there was real love and feeling there. Sometimes, and my heart was a little jaded, a little tainted, from past relationships. So I wasn't really wasn't focused on nothing long term. I'm 22. I was a playboy at that age. You know, I was just like, you know, I was dating a girl in South Africa. You know, that was pretty cool. You know, we had the same birthday, so I had to cut it off with her when I moved back, you know, to New York. You know, and I started living with this girl in Harlem. So, I mean, that ain't last too long. I think that lasted a week because I had another girl in South Africa. No, I'm serious. But she was like an oracle, man. Like, this girl, like, I'm just going to call her K. I'm going to call her. No, this is when I was in South Africa. I met another girl towards the end, my second stay. I had some girls in South Africa. But it was the three main ones. Yeah. There's a second stint that I found this oracle girl. We never actually had sex. We had, like, you know, it was like just, we touched and, like, you know, but it was just, I never had sex with it. I never needed to, which was crazy. We used to do Reiki healing. We used to go drink water out the spring, you know, out the mountain. I never had that real connection with a person, bro. And, you know, I got that from this girl. That's why I call her the oracle, but, you know, she's the oracle muse, like literally. So talented, so beautiful, so sweet. She was amazing, honestly.
Were you making work at that time?
No.
Okay.
No, I was staying with her. This is the second time she let me stay with her. And I fell in love, and, like, that's when I, like, had the epiphany. I was like, I have to leave. I overstayed my stay in South Africa. Like, literally, my visa was, I had a work visa, but I overstayed it about 3 months. They fined me. It was like $300. But so I moved back to New York, and dude, you know, this girl knew that, you know, I had this girl, but I kind of try to explain, like, this is not what you think. You know, it's like, yeah, I love this girl back in South Africa, but we didn't even have sex, like, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? We just had a deeper connection. She just couldn't deal with it, and so she kicked me out, bro. She kicked me out on the street in the middle of the night in Harlem.
I think it's funny because I think sometimes that's worst. Like that and I'm not speaking for anyone, but I feel like for some women, that type of connection, even though you didn't touch the other girl, is worse.
Great point.
But continue. Like, how did it feels like there's different catalysts happening, and then, like, the art journey is slowly starting to flame up. So what happened after that?
Well, actually, let me be clear. Like, so the oracle, Kay, she told me, she's like, you're going to go back to New York and do amazing things. You're going to do art, you're going to do photography. She told me this. She said, when you see white things in the sky, like, it could be like a feather, it could be like anything. You know, piece of cotton, like, falling from, you didn't see it, you know, like, you know, dandelion, you know, flowers, like, kind of like float in the air, like, and I started seeing all these signs, bro, and, like, it kind of started seeking in, and honestly, that day, man, when I left, you know, when she kicked me out, the girl in Harlem, she kicked me out, I went with my little suitcase, walking down, slept on a couple bleachers and shit, and I think I finally got over my, like, pride, and I was like, I called the girl that the first round that I was dating. I called her. I said, yo, can I, like, just crash, like, for a couple of days? I had money. I just couldn't figure out where to go at that time. Thank God I had money. And so she let me come. I sleep on the floor. We ain't have sex or nothing like that. We just chilled out, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I put on Facebook, bro. This is how the universe works. God, however you want to call it. I put on Facebook. I'm like, I'm looking for a place. I have this much. And this is when you can just be blunt on Facebook. You can just be like, I got $900, you know, like, let me know. Somebody hit me up. This cool guy, man. Really, you know, that changed my whole life, dude. So he was like, dude, I'm actually leaving my place. The lease ends in, like, 8 months, but I have to go to work in, I think he was going to work in Asia. I don't know exactly where. And so I moved in this place the next day, bro. It was called Alina Brownstones in Park Slope, Brooklyn, bro. I'm paying, like, I think $1,100 or something like that, $1,200, I think. And I started finding paint supplies. I started finding wood.
From the sky.
No. I just started finding it when I moved in. I just started finding it around. You get what I'm saying? Like in the neighborhood, because you gotta understand, Park Slope have a lot of artists and people, and they were just throwing stuff out, man. And I just started collecting supplies instantly. So the first day I was in there, I started already painting. My first day moving in there, I became a painter. I never forget. I think the same week I found a Cause magazine, and I was like, I'm gonna become a painter. Like it hit me, and I was like, I became adamant about it. I would start collecting doors. I started collecting like old wood and like priming it, and I just became possessed for like 2 years in that motherfucker. Painted my whole room. Like I went crazy, like literally. But I was so inspired. I was like a big kid again. Like I was just, you couldn't tell me not to stop. And and it was great, man. It was a great feeling. It was nostalgic. To be creating in that standpoint. Not that I was making the best things, but I was just so excited, man. I was just like a kid, in a candy shop, and it was, I can, if I could relive that like experience again, just that abundance of just the adolescence of just feeling like that inner child, man, and I still have it, but it was just such a freedom and liberation to be upon something and not even knowing like the depth of how deep I was gonna go with it, man. And I had it, I felt it,
Yeah, damn. It makes me think of like, it's like the chicken or the egg scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Like, were you, well, and this is, what's the word when you don't have to answer the question? Like a question that you don't have to, I forgot, what kind of question is that? Where you don't have to answer the question? Never mind.
Rhetorical?
Hypothetical, rhetorical, these words, man. It's almost like chicken or the egg scenario where the artist could have already been in you and then the oracle pulled it out, or the oracle created the artist. Which one do you feel?
I feel like neither. She just saw it and she just had to give me clarity. It was already there. I remember I said I already had these ideas, but she was just saying, as a strong believer in me, like, yes, it's gonna happen. And she's prime example. It's still happening. I'm like, but it's always what I said. Also, it's about me believing in myself. First off, it's like what she said was just a true testament to how much I believed in myself. Yeah. So I believe, her seeing that in me and seeing how passionate I was. I think it was just another acceptance for me, and something I didn't get initially from my parents. I didn't get it from my dad. I didn't get it, from my mom, instantly. That wasn't something they seen like me wanting to do. They was like, Cavier, I'm gonna go to the NBA or overseas basketball. That was an idea, but it didn't have, the right outcome, right. For me in the long run. I feel like what I did now, what I'm doing now is what I wanted to do,
Yeah, that's dope. So let's skip. So you're an artist now, and you're making all the work. Check out his work. All right. I feel like I just got to do this for social media. What's your top 5 artists?
Like what? Like music artists? Make music?
No, artists in general. Like the word artist.
Wow, that's a big statement.
The unspoken.
Shit.
There's artists and then there's artists.
Well, you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna go with my birthday dude, Picasso, at number 1. Then number 2, I think I'm gonna have to go with, Tupac. 3, I'm gonna go with Da Vinci. You know what I'm saying? I don't really understand what he was on, but I'm gonna just give him his credit. I'm gonna give him his credit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give my boy his credit because I love him and he did great stuff. You know. 4, I'm gonna go. Man, damn, this is so good. I'm gonna take Prince. Sorry, I gotta have some more music. I gotta have that music in there. And 5, I'm gonna go. Man, this is tough. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna just go with Biggie Smalls. Call it a day. I'm just.
Hold on. What was that? All right. Number 1 was.
It was Picasso.
Picasso. Then you said.
I said Tupac.
Tupac. Then you said Da Vinci. Then you said Prince and Biggie.
Yeah.
Yo, you sure?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I'm gonna like.
I'll take it.
That's gonna be a consistent thing. That's gonna be a consistent thing because usually when you hear that,
I'd go with them.
People section off the categories. Yeah. It's like top 5 in music, top 5 in art. But artists are just artists.
Artists, and I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I'm gonna have fun with this.
Yeah.
I think I definitely want more. I want music a lot, and I want art. And I was trying to think about engineers, and I was like, I don't really, I was like,
yeah, it has to.
But
it has to just come off the top. Yeah, you can't. You could, but yeah. All right, so let's go to.
I was thinking like Kobe Bryant, but I was like, nah, he's not. He is an artist. He is actually. He wrote books and everything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he got an Emmy. He won an Emmy.
Okay, learn something new.
Tupac ain't win one. I'm sorry.
I can't. I'm not going there with you, bro. All right, so let's roll into what I want to continue to do is the people who we're going to be speaking with and all the artists. It's almost like art is the byproduct of everything, but it's the tangible asset that we get to like display and people get to collect and all that other stuff. So it holds tremendous weight, but it's the byproduct of a lot of things. So check out his work. It's amazing work. And then check out the other artists who are in the Ideal Glass Studios portfolio, so to speak. Check out Ideal Glass Studios programming and check out Fusion Pass artists. A whole bunch of dope people.
Dope.
Yeah, yo. Eventually we're gonna get over that word, but
I don't think you can. I think it's just so dope.
It is.
It's a dope word to use. If you dope, you dope.
Right.
I don't think that word can ever get old, actually, or lame. Like.
We'll see.
I don't really know.
People used to say like the job turkey. They probably thought that never was gonna go out of style.
They did. They knew that was gonna not stay alive.
All right, so we're gonna fast forward past the art because the art is just there. It's a byproduct. It's gonna be made regardless. Let's talk about the environments that you remember that have drastically impacted your art. Whether it be a place that allowed you to create something that you haven't been able to create before, or a place that was so bad that it actually made you create.
Well, I would say I won't go in the bad way, but I go in the spiritual realm. I went to Bali, and I had a 3-week residency basically, and showcased my art at this beautiful Matisse. The name of the gallery is called Matisse Gallery. Like, it was center of Bali, beautiful, man. And I was terrified. Like, to leave the night before. I was dating, this girl, Victoria's Secret model at the time, but she convinced me to go, dude. I mean, the flight was, I wasn't even gonna go on the flight because I was like, man, dude, I was just skeptical, like about this project because I was like, I didn't know anyone there. I'm like, dude, this is a 19-hour flight. I'm like, man, like I didn't even care no more. The flight was already broken. I was way more emotionally connected to like me not wanting to go. I just was, not that I was scared to fly. I just was like, I don't feel like doing it. Like, I just was kind of like, I had questions, but I didn't, really know what to think of it. So anyway, I went, got on there. I was crying and finally got on there. And dude, when I got there, man, it was the best experience of my life, man. I didn't smoke for 3 weeks. I grew facial hair. Like, I ate fruit. I went jogging. The locals would run with me. Like, you understand? Like, I'm not the tallest dude, but I'm like, I stick out like a sore thumb. Like in Bali, everyone's shorter, bro. And I remember getting up early in the mornings. I was just waking up in the morning. I stayed in a nice villa, man. I just remember just waking up so grateful, bro, every morning. And I remember this one morning in particular. I go out. And I'm looking, I'm like seeing a little smoke come up from the ground. I'm like, what the hell is that? And they got like temples everywhere, dude. And I'm looking, I'm like, it's like smoldering, and it's like flowers, and it's like smoke, and it's like dust, morning. I'm like, what is this? And I asked one of the locals, and he's like, we give offerings to the God every morning to pay our respect. And I was like, it hit me. It was like, we are not that visceral when it comes to like spirituality in American culture. And I feel like that simple gesture to me just opened me up even more. It made me want to understand the people more. It wanted me to get into my mind more and why I was there, and I partake in, some of their, temples, and learning more information about, I try to, indulge in people culture when I'm there. I'm not running away from it. I'm trying different food, I'm eating, some weird bugs. I'm not gonna shy away from it if it's a real experience. And I think, and I hate to say it, but being a black man in America, I feel like we run away from experiences sometimes based off just what we think what things should be, and that's not really living. I feel like you must become a little uncomfortable to like really have a true experience and to grow. And that's the ideal measurement for you to live in society, is to have like a real growth, a period in time where you can really say that experience pushed me. And that place pushed me. I was crying. I didn't want to go. But spiritually, it matched everything I needed, and I think, that destination, it led to me showing my art, in a gallery. I did a lot of painting, and the painting, I had a fashion show, bro. I never even really told you about this. I had collab with a designer. Like, she took my my design and took it and put it on clothing, like on Mongolian wool and all of this stuff. But I was terrified. But I didn't know all of this. I didn't see none of it. I seen some of it, but it was, sometimes you don't need to see everything to have faith. And I think that at the end, that's what I got,
Yeah. All right, so I feel like we could just chat forever, so I gotta focus in on a couple more topics. But if you could think of like 3 spaces, I know Japan is one of them, one of the spaces that's like on your list. If you can think of 2 other spaces of like what's the urge, what's the thing that's pulling you to these spaces for Japan and 2 other places?
I would say these places are pulling me because I feel like the experience. I want the experience. I want to have the rich experience of saying I've been there. And it's not to be bragging, it's just to learn something, to have that value of, being a little uncomfortable, learning a little something new. I think, and, I would say another place I'm interested in going is like Sweden or Amsterdam. I feel like those markets are like great for art, and I think I haven't had that exposure in that market. And I think, if I was given opportunity, I could find my way in that market, basically.
And this one is gonna be just, I guess, the spicy cap, for lack of a better word, the spicy cap. All like idioms and sayings are probably born I don't even want to say that word, on shows. But what is like some gripes that you have with the industry as a whole, whether it be locally, globally, or like even generationally, where there's things that you don't like that you see, or there's things that you feel that we as a whole, as a people, should be doing more. Like, for me, it's as small as, I feel like we should have been reinvented the wheel by now.
Right.
I'm like, how? It's almost kind of like the like a Elon Musk is ish perspective, where I'm like, we should be moving forward quicker.
Right.
Like we're holding on to a lot of old things, and that's kind of like the macro gripe, so to speak. So like, what are some things, whether it be with the local super micro experiences with people or the art world as a whole, that you don't like?
Well, there's a lot of things I don't like about the art world. I would say, one, I feel like people have become clickier again, right? It's like, I feel like art is supposed to bring people together. It's not supposed to be this big competition, right? But that's what in the world we live in is created by competition and demand, and what is popping, what's cool, right? And it's like, I think that's kind of unfair to someone that is putting the same effort in as someone else, but they don't get the same highlights, they don't get the same opportunity, they don't get the same. So you have a lot of people that do art are miserable because they not looking at themselves in a higher regard because they're not getting the same opportunity. So I have a huge gripe against that, because artists just want to pay their bills and live and be happy. The basic needs of that is food, water, and shelter. Artists shouldn't have to figure that out every month, and we have to, and unless you've been coattailed and pulled around to the right gallery owners and everybody just buying your art because it's the right thing to do because the market says, right? But people not buying from the emotional standpoint, I feel, and I think that's where art lies in. It's way more connectivity when it's emotional, and I think people now just buy for, just very miscellaneous things just to say they had it, to say I got a Caviar piece, but do you really appreciate it? Do you know I probably was stoned out of my mind trying to escape something, that I didn't want to think about. Maybe someone died or, whatever the case may be. But I think people just need to open their mind and their heart and their soul to understand why artists actually make art opposed to just buying it for, popular demand,
Yeah. That's a continuous, it's like the world is full of paradoxes and chicken or the egg scenarios where as an artist you want to be able to sustain yourself and just carry on making art, but then at the same time you don't want someone copying your art for bullshit.
Right.
That's just one of those not sad, it's just a paradox. It's like a continuing challenge. Yeah.
But it should be a broken reality. It should be something that we unlearn and really focus on the fact that we need to just support each other. There's money to go around for everyone, and I think it shouldn't be this long time planning events. Just make it happen. If you're gonna say something, be a man or a woman of your word. It works both ways, and I think there's a lot of people just go around saying that. I never wanted to be that person. I never wanted to be like, I'm an artist, I'm a painter, and that was the whole reason what I was saying back then to start the conversation. I'm like, dude, I'm going to be a painter, I'm going to be a photographer, I'm going to be a musician. 12 years later, I have done all that. I have 5 albums. I have made, I don't know, maybe 1,000 paintings. I've took several photos, been published in several editorials and advertisements. I've done so many things because I said I was going to do it. But society shouldn't make it hard for me by me saying what I want to do. And I get that. I still get that, but I'm still fighting. And I think every artist is still fighting unless they're getting pulled along.
Yeah, no, completely. And to bring this full circle, I just want to go against that. But, I think overall, the gift to artists still is the spaces that free us from all of this bullshit, whether it be getting away to another country or people who find the balance between the commerce and the art and give space for that. So with saying that, this has been I think I might call it I don't want it to be corny, like art undefined or something. I don't know. There's a work.
What's the big idea, man?
we're trying to figure out a title, but there is no
What's the
title.
big idea?
What's the big idea?
Yeah.
We're gonna put it to a vote. Mike, what do you think?
I think just keep throwing out names.
Yeah. It's
What's the big idea?
art undefined. What's the big idea? It doesn't have a name. It's just gonna be dot.
What's the big idea?
It's gonna be 3 dots.
What is the big idea of life, right? What is the big idea?
Right.
What are we living for? What is the main purpose? Is to have a wife? Is to have a kid? Is to have a car? What is the big idea? Is to have everything?
See, now that's the gold, and the gold as far as conversations. And I feel like that's the direction that this will evolve into, because there is a lot of philosophy, a lot of, like, for me, in this current society, I look at, every now and then I see homeless people, and I'm like, you don't know if that person's a homeless person or the next Plato. So a lot of the, there's no philosophy culture. We like disregard that because we don't associate, like we associate knowledge with like a certain attire or a certain look. But some of these homeless people are probably brilliant.
Oh, they are.
And
I talk to them sometimes.
the closest thing beyond that is the artist when it comes to philosophy. So I think we need to like extract.
People need to be more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Society. I mean, I feel like society is already compressing most of our thoughts, and it hinders a lot of people and stunts our growth. And because we look at it from the matrix standpoint, it's like we in the third dimension of it, like we live in it, but it's like it's a fifth dimension of it, it's a seventh dimension of it, and you got to tap into it. And I think, that's how you break the matrix of living in society and like being, suppressed and not being happy. And I think you gotta transform and transition into the next stage, and that's about being free within your mind and your soul, and that's part of philosophizing. It's like you can't be a philosopher if you're not really searching for the truth of like, identifying yourself with what the greater purpose is, right? So
Yeah. All right. So consider this part 1. We have some amazing people in store for future episodes of ... And hopefully we'll see Cavier again and get deeper into these ideas, because artists have the most profound thoughts. And I'll just leave it at that. But thanks again.
signing out. Peace.